Okay, hey guys. Okay, now the quarantine has people in the house not going to the barber shop, and that is considered a public gathering, and that is not allowed. So, people are starting to be their own barbers in their own home, and I've been cutting my own hair for years now. I think the last time I stopped getting my hair cut from other people is when I was a little bit out of high school. I was just out of high school, but I quit going to the barber shops. Well, unfortunately, I ended up just going bald. So it's not really necessary to go to a barber to get a bald head when they're specialized in doing that, but they're really specialized in doing like they mainly do, people who have hair and they cut those. No one, unless you see like a really older person and then they're getting bald head and they're not using the clippers, but they're using a razor. And I've never had that happen, but my skin is really sensitive to metal, so I cannot um, use a razor at all. But I have some clippers right here. Like I said before, I used these in my other video. These are Andes clippers. Okay, these come from Walmart, and you can get these clippers from anywhere else that is selling things that aren't so expensive. This is not that expensive. I think I paid $13 for this. I think $26 for this. But I ended up buying another one because I left this one here when I was out in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Um, it got stolen from me. So, but anyways, I use these, and the best Andes clippers to use are not these. The best ones to use are the ones specifically. I gotta clean them. They're specifically made for you to trim, so they're like more trimmers than anything. But this was really like I knew that I could use these even if I didn't have a trimmer. I would have to go over my head more than once every time I do it. So whenever I cut my hair, I'm looking at a mirror. This is how you cut your own hair. You get yourself a mirror, okay? Get a little mirror, and you stand in another mirror, like in the bathroom or another mirror that's on your wall or anywhere, and you get the mirror and you look at it like this, and you can see yourself in the back, so you'll be able to cut your hair like this while you're looking at yourself and the mirror in the back. You'll be looking at the back of the mirror. Um, there's a mirror up here, like right there, but you can't see it like that. Um, there's a mirror right behind you, and once you place this mirror right in front of you, you're going to be able to see your image from the back from the other mirror reflecting off the mirror in front of you. So hold it like this, and then you just go back and forth, back and forth. And some people know what certain, like the certain. If you have hair and you have guards, you can still modify which angle to have and how to cut your hair. Even when you're looking at the mirror too, not just for bald head people, but you're able to be successful in doing that. I just don't have the patience. I mean, I do, but I kind of like being bald. So, I cut my hair even more. I mean, it kept going lower and lower and lower. It was a regular haircut, then it went to a mini fro, kind of in a way. Then it went to back to regular haircut. Then I went to fades and then dread fade, and then I came back to a regular fade, and then I ended up just having a regular haircut, and then I had um and then I went bald. I was like, bump this. Okay. When I was younger, I didn't like the way I looked when if I had a bald head because it was kind of like too early to have a bald head. And then other people in the school were like, your head is bald, and they start laughing, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't really have a plan of being bald. I didn't plan on being bald at all. Um, I had started going bald when I was right out of high school. Actually, no, I was in high school. And I decided to cut all my hair, but then I was using like different things like razors and stuff like that. I became very good at it, but then as I got older, razors were not the one for me. So I just started using clippers and cutting my own hair. But at the time, my mom was cutting my hair regularly, and then I started to like it even lower and lower, but not too low. And then eventually I just got more comfortable with me doing it and me looking at myself and enjoying the way that I look while I don't have it. So I knew that I could like make myself a little bit more appealing once I figure out, what I need to do in order to make this bald head look good. That's basically what it was. So I use these clippers and I go look in the mirror and I cut my hair. Now, let me plug this up because I've been cutting my own hair for a while and I don't need a barber. I don't need a barber. Um, Let me clean it off. um, Now there's a mirror up there above me, but I can see, so it doesn't matter where I start, but you be holding it just like this, looking at yourself in the back. You will never ever see me going to the barbershop unless I'm going to get something, unless I feel like doing it. But I barely go to the barbershop. I cut my own hair. And it's so easy, it's not hard at all. And some people were like, "Oh, Chris, are you going bald?" No, I don't know. Shoot, tell me, am I? I mean, when I was younger, I didn't like the way a bald head looked. I liked to see some hair on it. Like I would try to shave my head to be so perfectly bald that whenever I was using my razor, it looked like it was too much. Like my skin became dry and sensitive on my head, and I could not. Um, Had to wear a hat sometimes too because it did not feel right. It was so naked and so bald. I didn't like cutting my hair that low. So when I cut my hair, I do this back and forth over and over. Um, you have like a certain feeling that you get whenever you're cutting your hair. You know when you've cut too much off. Sometimes you don't, but having a mirror to do it is really good. And you just go over and over and over and over, just like this until it looks clean. You don't have to keep on looking in the mirror and checking. All you can do is feel how it looks. So right now I'm looking dead at the camera. That's another mirror for me. Is looking at that camera. And then after I get finished, I have some rubbing alcohol. I usually use Noxzema for my skin. That's a really good formula to use, Noxzema. Um, and then at night you can sleep with like oils left on your face. And I said that before, but I've slept with oils on my face too. Overnight, so they can deep penetrate my pores and um, do its work. Like it's medicine in it. So I put a lot of stuff on my face before, but I knew what I was doing when I was doing it, so right now I need that mirror. See now, and then whenever I go over the top of my head or any place on my head, I can feel when its hair still needed to be gone, even though it's really low. You can feel it. So, like I'm pulling, it don't look like I'm pulling much off, but I'm pulling a lot off just by going over and over and over and over. And I don't stop this until I know it's perfect and it's all cleaned up and it's all gone. But I have to cut my hair. Some people are like, well, Chris, why do you keep cutting your hair? Or why are you about to cut your hair? You don't need to cut your hair. And I'm like, I know how much hair has grown in from the last 2 days that will be visible to me, if not to you. And some other people with a good eye will be able to see it also. So I'm going to cut my hair when I feel like cutting it because I know where the hair is grown. And sometimes I'm like, well, do I want to grow my hair? And I'm like, I have thought about that, but I've had my days to where I just grew my hair and I didn't know what to do. So this is the best way and the cheapest way to maintain a good look because there is nothing to maintain but to cut the little bit that you have that you let grow. And I just always rub it down, rub my hair to get all that excess stuff off. And I keep going and doing it over and over until I know it's 100% no hair anywhere. I go over my whole entire head. I've got some hair on there. See? Looking at hair. I have to keep on doing it over and over again. Okay, so that's done. See? Boom. Easy. Easy, breezy, beautiful cover girl. No, I'm joking. That's it. Then I will get the rubbing alcohol. Get this rubbing alcohol. Make sure I'm not. Rub my head. Ah, feel the nice burn. That's 91% alcohol. There's some that aren't that strong, but I like the strong alcohol, so I know it's cleaning and it's doing the work. And I use the same clippers to trim up my face also. Um, Now this is what the mirror is really made for. You know, I clean up the rest of the outside of it too. Just make sure that I got everything off. I don't want to mess it up and go too far and cut it. And cut something that I don't want to be cut. I don't want to go too far and cut too much. So I'm gonna turn this sucker off before I start getting extra creative, and I don't need to be no extra creative than what it already is. So that's how you do it. I cut my own hair. I've been cutting my own hair. It's not bad, but I mean, it's a way to save money. I never have to go to the barbershop. I keep the same clippers for 1, 2, 3 years. I take care of it. It's only me using it. I mean, I don't use them to cut anything else or shave anything else. Every now and then I might, but no, I only I use those clippers, and I take very good care of them. And I've been cutting my hair for I'm gonna have to say 5 years. I've been cutting my hair for about 5 years, and again, that's part of the self quarantine. That's part of the self distancing. I was telling the truth. I don't go out nowhere. I don't party with people. I don't hang out with nobody. I stay to myself. Even when I didn't have my own place, I was staying to myself. I didn't have no friends. I used to have friends, but I don't have friends anymore. That's not a bad thing. It's like I do have friends. I just don't be hanging around with nobody. I just be by myself because that's just self discipline, if you want to say it. Um, I mean, it's still, I do still have people that I consider to be my friends that I would actually go out there and spend time with. But I mainly spend time with myself because until it comes along and I'm out there spending time with someone and I'm a good person and I like to spend time with people, that's just me. My nature has always been. You just gotta be careful about who you spend your day with and who you hang around. You know, that's just the motto. So yeah, that's how you cut your own hair. I got these clippers from Andy and from Walmart, and it's called Andy's. I got two of them. I think I think it was like $18, but it did a pretty good job, as you can see. How you like that? You see? I don't think I did bad. I don't think I did bad at all. And if I got some spots, I can get them. But I'm just letting you know that I know how to cut my own hair. I've been cutting my own hair for 5 or over 5 years now. You're saving so much money. You're your own barber. You don't need to go to the barber shop all the time. Now, really, you're supposed to, if you already took your shower or whatever, and you're supposed to cut your hair before then, like, you can still use your alcohol, but usually just make sure after you finish cutting your hair to wash your face, your head, and the skin before you try to apply the alcohol first. But I apply the alcohol first because just now because I was trying to show y'all what is the best thing to do. That's also good when after you finish cutting your hair. So It's like you can't see nothing, but you can. You see, with the Andes clippers, the other Andes clippers that are made for um trimming, it would say trimmers on there. Um, they work like I would not have to keep going over and over with those clippers. Those are the number one hot spots. These are just the baby ones. But the baby one is way like it looks like a hammerhead. And you can tell it's a trimmer. But it works so good. Andy's has really good clippers. And I'm pretty sure it's other ones out there, but Andy's has been the best so far that I have ever tried on my own. This guy in Chapel Hill let me use his clippers because somebody stole my clippers when I was at the shelter. And yeah. And so I had no choice but to use his, and he just so happened to have some trimmers from Andy's that he used. His other ones broke, but they were really, really good. So, yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you cut hair by yourself. See? Save yourself some money. Bye.